Yeah, I'm
Okay.
so smushed.
Oh, I need to burp so bad, but I don't. That's not ready. Okay.
But it's not ready.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm starting again. This is how I'll know.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Hi. Hi, and welcome to the Sisters of Stardust, our D&D campaign that we do every Tuesday on TikTok Live. It's a solo D&D campaign with me and my sister. I'm Zach, the Dungeon Master, and with me, as always, is my awesome sister. I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm Amanda, aka Deidra Simmerstone. I'm a Mark of Healing halfling and a storm sorcerer.
Heck yeah. So, last time, last time, Deidra actually talked to her mom and her aunt, and they were like, hey, it's time you go to this tree that we went to when we were young and get basically a little trinket for yourself. And you went, but you decided to take your friend Arya with you as well. So you went to Arya's little bar that she works at, and you talked to her, and you were like, hey, let's get out of here. You want like your own little magical item? And she was like, yeah. So you guys ended up going through a portal. The next day you went through a portal with your mom and your aunt, and they were like, okay, go inside this tree's roots. They're magical. It's different for everyone. We'll see what happens. So you went in there with your friend Arya, and you got teleported into a darker part of the woods. And in this darker part of the woods, you ended up seeing some like web everywhere, and there was like web sacks hanging from trees above you. And once you went into this first section of the woods and you saw those, you continued on, you saw another section, one of the sacks was moving, so you guys inspected it, and it turns out that Arya actually could tell that it was being manipulated by another piece of web from the bushes. So Deidra, being so subtle, went over there and cast a thunderbolt into the bushes and started a fight with a giant beetle thing. The beetle thing was shooting web at you, fighting you. And you did tell me you almost died in that fight, but you didn't die. You guys ended up taking it out, and then you inspected like the rest of the web and stuff there. Nothing was really real, like it was real, but you get what I mean. Like nothing was alive in the webs. So you continued on, and you ended up falling into a trap where it was a hole that you guys fell into, and when you came out, there were a bunch of smaller beetles, and you ended up fighting those beetles, winning them fairly quickly. And then after that, you continued on until you found a small cavern. And once you walked into this cavern, there was a specter, which is, if you remember, a giant floating head with one big eyeball in the middle, and then 4 eyes, basically eye tentacle things popping out of the sides. And he ended up gifting you with your very own wand that adds damage to your lightning and thunder spells. And he ended up giving Arya a little packet where she can pull out different spices and different things to flavor her, I guess spices isn't the right word, but basically just little things to flavor her alcohol and any food she makes. But it just doesn't end. She can just pull out all the spices and stuff. So,
That's hot.
Yeah. Then you guys ended up going home with your aunt and mom, and that's where we ended the session. Is there anything you want to add?
No thanks.
Okay. Should we do a question like we did last week about Deidra's backstory, or do you think that's lame?
We can do whatever you want to do.
Okay, so last time I threw out the idea of you coming up with how you ended up getting your tattoo, or the story of how she got her Mark of Healing tattoo. So if you want to come up with a story, you can. If we want to wait, we can do it next time.
I don't know why I imagine this being like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It does kind of feel that way.
You have to become like a master in order to get your tattoos.
Oh?
You know what I mean?
You like master a certain thing?
Yeah, so maybe I mastered some stuff, and then she was like, okay, it's time to get your tattoos.
Maybe, like, when you have your own feature or whatever as your sorcerer that makes it so that when you cast a spell, you can fly for a little bit. Maybe that's what it was. I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out there, but...
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. It's whatever you want, though.
No, I like that one.
Yeah? Nothing else? But, I don't know. I think that's fine if you want to just get into the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Boop, boop. I should probably pull my dice out. Okay, so you will have had 3 weeks of downtime by the time we pick up. So is there anything you wanted to do in 3 weeks of downtime? It can be you researching things. It can be you just working and making more money. What do you want to do?
I guess let's work.
You're going to work for gold?
I don't think I have any money.
Yeah? Okay, I want you to roll a d20 for me. Just straight d20. If there's anything you can think to add to that, you can, but...
Performance?
Sure. That's like you winning people over to get tips and stuff.
6.
6, okay. So that is going to be... Boom, boom, boom.
I didn't roll very well.
Yeah, that was pretty low roll for sure. Where are you?
Up your ass.
So I'm going to say you made... Wages. Why can't I find these? I know I had them here. What are you doing?
What?
What am I hearing? So I'm going to say you made 3 copper... Or... How much copper a week? You made 6 copper a week, so altogether that's going to be 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 copper.
That's crappy.
Yeah, you rolled a 6.
I actually rolled a 3.
Well, you got a 3 with
But my
performance, I got you.
But my performance is 3.
But, yeah.
How much did I make?
You made 6 gold a week.
6
Or 6
copper?
a week, pardon me. So that altogether is 17, 18 copper. So, after your long 3 weeks of work to make your copper, you wake up in the morning one day, come downstairs, and your aunt and your mom pull you aside and say, hey, or your mom pulls you aside and she says, hey, I was using my spell to track people down and to find like anybody who's like empowered like we are. And she's like, and I found a girl who is living with a man and taking care of him, yeah, she's got a lot of like special, she has a lot of magical traits that are just popping up for her, and I've just seen them, and I'd like you to go get her and see if you can bring her here, or have her and her person relocate to this, to the spring, or to Helena, so that we can train her, and she can not just be wasted potential.
Okay. Can I take Arya with me?
She's like, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
So are you gonna go grab Arya then?
Yep.
Okay, so you talk to Arya. She's like, okay, we can take a couple days off, go do this. It'll be fun. And she works for a little bit, but gets her time off, and you guys are off. So I'll say the place that you're going isn't too far away. It's not necessarily out of the woods, if that makes sense. It's still in kind of a hidden part too. So you guys do have a map. I want you or Arya to roll either a survival or a... What's the other one I want you to roll? A survival or... I want to say navigation, but that's not a skill. I will find this. Boom, boom, boom.
So which one is survival?
So survival is one of the skills. It's at the very bottom of the skill list.
Well, I know, but
What do you mean?
like, so you know how it's based off of like the intelligence or charisma or whatever, so that I can look at where Arya would be?
Oh yeah, so survival is based off of wisdom.
Okay.
We can do a survival or nature, whatever one you think is better.
What's nature based off of?
Intelligence.
Okay, I'll roll a survival check.
Okay.
Uh, 17, 19.
19. Okay, so you guys end up navigating great. You don't get lost on the way. In fact, while you're walking like the trail that you need to go to get there, you find that the trail's easy to follow, and you don't run into any trouble on the way. So as you're approaching this place, it's just a small like cottage in the woods. But there is like a deck with a rocking chair, or two rocking chairs in the front of it, and just I would say an old wood door. It's not polished or anything, or it doesn't really have a lacquer on it. It's just like really thrown together. One thing I'll say you notice is that like there is light coming from the place, but it's very dim light. It's like very
Are there
dimly.
pixies in this mother trucker?
What's up?
Are there pixies in here?
If you want to do an investigation, you can.
Okay, I'll roll investigation.
Okay.
$14.
14. So you're not seeing any pixies. You're not seeing any like type of fairy things. Looking in there, like it just seems that this place is very just run down a little bit. Does that make sense? It's an old cottage. Mm-hmm. It's run down, and it's just not very well taken care of in there. Like it's bare minimum of like what you want the place to be if you were living in it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So,
but I don't see anybody in there.
So there is a man sitting in a chair in there, and the girl that you're after is actually a halfling as well. The man is human, but he's got his eyes closed and he's laying in a chair in there, and he's like pretty big. Like he's a very stocky guy. As far as looking in there and seeing a halfling, you don't see anything right now. You haven't seen the girl.
Okay. Do you think that... This is me talking to Arya. Mm-hmm. Do you think that we should just wait outside for her? Because I don't think she's home, and I don't want to disturb this man because he's twice our size.
And to be clear, the guy, he doesn't, like, how I say this, he just looks old and big. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't look healthy.
Gotcha. So we should kill him.
We'll see.
Put him out of his misery.
What's up?
We should put him out of his misery.
And if you really are joking with Arya about that, she'll be like, sometimes, like, I don't know, if I got like really out of sorts like that, I just want to kind of go.
Should we ask him?
He's like, maybe we should like feel it out a bit, and then if he like seems really miserable, we can ask him.
Okay, let's knock on the door.
Okay. So you walk up and you knock on the door. And you knock, or however you knock. And then, and you hear in the background, seems we have visitors. Like, Chombley, get the door. Get the door.
Chombley?
Tumbly. Does that make sense? Tumbly.
Yeah.
Get the door. And you hear like some small footsteps on the other side, or I guess regular footsteps to you. And the door cracks open, and you actually see a halfling. She has blonde, wavy hair that's like cut down to her shoulders, so it's like it's not flowy, but like, what am I saying? It's just a shorter cut. Does that make sense? And she like has a very like steel face, not really a lot of emotion coming from it, and she's just like opens the door, and he's like, you hear the man in the back room is like, Tumbly, bring the visitors in so I can talk to them. Bring them inside. We can do that. Just bring them in. And she's like, okay. She's like, right this way. She starts like.
Would you like to hear about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
But she leads you in, and there's a big guy in a chair in front of you, and he's just like, now, what do we owe this visit?
Hello, I'm Deidra, and this is Arya.
Arya waves.
We're actually here to see Tumbly.
He's like, Tumbly? You invited guests? She's all, no. Like, I didn't. She's like confused, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Being closer now, the guy like opened his eyes while he was talking to you because he was asleep when you were peering through the window. You can tell that this man is blind.
Gotcha.
He's like, Tumbly. Now, can't be inviting visitors over all the time. Okay? Just understand. And she's just kind of like, I don't know what's going on, wide-eyed. He's like,
I'll just tell him, we actually came uninvited. May we speak to Tumbly alone?
He's like, oh, I'm sure that's not necessary. Anything you want to say to Tumbly, you can say around me. Isn't that right, Tumbly? You trust me to be around, don't you? And she like turns and she like gives you this look like, like this guy, you know, like she's pretty like it's obvious that she's not like happy with that response. He's like, Tumbly, tell them you want me to listen to this proposition. Tell them. And she immediately after hearing that turns and goes, yeah, it's fine that he can listen to the proposition.
I don't want him there.
Do you say that out loud?
This man seems controlling and creepy. Can I roll like persuasion or something and just say, it's actually a private matter and I'm sure she would prefer for you not to hear.
Okay, so Yeah, go ahead and roll persuasion for me.
$21.
21, okay. So, after saying that, he's like, oh. It's like, Tumbly and I are so close. And she takes care of me, you know. She does everything for me. She's my caretaker, you see. But I guess if you must speak to her alone, speak to her alone.
Okay. Tumbly, why don't we step outside for a minute?
Okay. So you start to walk. He's like, but stay in the house if you would, please. I will leave. I'll leave into another room if I must. But stay in the house. I don't want to go too far away if I need her.
Okay.
Basically, he just wants to be able to get her attention if he needs her. Is what he's saying.
I hate this guy.
So, there's basically like a kitchen area in a front part where you like walked in. Basically, you walked through. I don't know why I'm disappearing. You walked through.
Is this house like human size or is it halfling size?
So it's human size.
Okay.
But she's living there.
Okay.
There's like basically, and there's a walkway that you would walk through. On the right, there's a kitchen at the very front. That's like probably the first room you saw. At that back of the house is where he was laying in his chair.
Okay.
And it's just a big rocking chair. But Tumbly brings you to the front room or the kitchen area.
Okay, so we go in and we say, Tumbly, it's a pleasure to meet you. We've been sent here because we've heard you have special abilities. Does that sound right to you?
She's like, yeah, but people don't like my abilities.
Well, we're here to offer you to train you how to use them and be in an environment where your abilities will be celebrated.
She's like, really?
Yes.
She's like, well, I want to learn how to be, like, good at stuff. She's like, there must be more to life. And she, like, kind of stops herself. Well, because she says that.
This man seems needy and controlling, and nobody should be in this type of a situation.
And she's like, she doesn't really respond. She's staying very quiet when you say that. She's all, give me an Arcana check real quick.
I'm assuming that she's under some sort of spell.
Yeah, that's what. So go ahead and check to see if you would know that.
16.
16. That is a good roll. Okay, so when she's like being quiet, you see like a blue flicker of light go like through her eyes, and the only reason you're seeing it is because it's so dim in this house. But yeah, it's basically like something's holding her back when she's not saying the things she wants to be saying.
Gotcha. So I feel like based on this, I can assume that he knows what we're talking about.
He could.
I mean, what is this man's name? I'm asking her.
She's like, oh, his name is Gord. Mr. Gord.
So I'm just going to say out loud, Mr. Gord, if you're listening in, You have to understand that she needs to live her own life.
So you don't get he's not, like, responding or anything to that?
Okay. I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go talk to Mr. Gord?
Are you asking, Arya?
I'm asking both of them.
So Tumbly kind of, like, keeps her head down, and she's, like, refusing to, like... She's just trying not to say anything wrong, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Arya said... Let me see what Arya wants to say here. Arya's like, I mean, we can. She's not... You can kind of tell she's not picking up on the same, like, things you're picking up on.
Yeah. Okay.
I rolled a one for her Arcana check, by the way.
You rolled a natural one?
Yeah. For
Doesn't she get to re-roll natural ones?
Oh yeah, you're right. Thank you. I still rolled terrible, but that's better than a 1.
I did that earlier.
Yeah.
Because I rolled a natural 1, and then I was like, I get to re-roll these.
Yes.
And I rolled like a 19, so I was like, sweet.
That's gonna be fun. I already forgot that we had that. That's gonna be interesting. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So
we can't roll natural ones unless we roll 2 1s in a row.
Yeah, so you can tell she's definitely not picking up on the same things you are. I rolled a 7 after that, which would be a 9 on the Arcana roll.
On hers, yeah.
So she's still not picking up on the same things you are, but she is a little creeped out by the situation. She's like, yeah, I don't like this. Okay. You know, like you can just read that on her.
I feel like we're about to go into initiative. Let's go talk to Mr. Gorgonzola. Whatever his name is.
So she's calling him Gord.
Gorgonzola, got it.
Okay, Gorgonzola.
Is that insulting to him? Because I kind of want it to be.
What are you're calling him Gorgonzola?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Which is a kind of cheese.
Oh, okay. Oh, Gorgonzola. Is it Zola? Yeah. Have I been saying that wrong my whole life? It don't matter. Okay.
I have no idea.
So you walk over.
I'm American.
And he has moved out of his chair. He walked into his room.
I'm gonna go knock on his door.
Okay. So you knock on the door and he's like, oh.
Mr. Gorgonzola?
He's like, huh. You're so clever. That's such a clever thing for you to be saying. And you hear him, like, slowly walk over to the door and, like, open it. He's like, now, have you spoken to Tumbly about what you want to talk about?
Yes, but I feel like she's holding back somehow. I was wondering if you had anything to do with that.
Oh, Tumbly's always been quite a reserved girl. She's always been reserved, but she listens to me when I ask her to do. She's just always, helping me out.
And there's no other intervention in that?
She's like, oh, no. She's just a good she's just a sweet caretaker. She's just so good at her job.
Can I roll insight?
Well, you want to just see if you believe what he's saying?
Yeah, I guess.
I got you.
$17.
Okay, yeah, he's definitely avoiding your question, basically, by just using filler. He doesn't want to fess up to whatever's going on. Like, it just feels weird.
Can I roll for intimidation?
Sure.
I know I'm not that scary. I'm half his size, but
Well,
I have a
he is a
+6
blind.
intimidation.
He's
Huh?
blind and like big, you know. But go ahead and roll intimidation. I'm sorry.
I have a +6 intimidation.
Yeah, that's. I mean, lightning's intimidating.
Well, I rolled a 16 +6, so 22.
22. Okay, so how are you intimidating him?
I'm just gonna say I know that something weird is going on here, and if I find out that you're taking advantage of this young woman, I have powers beyond your belief, and I will destroy you.
Okay. So after. And I will destroy you. I like that. So you're. So you say that, and he's like, oh. He's like, I will show you. I haven't tried to do anything of the sort. And then he, like, you can tell he's like very uneasy, and he's like kind of moving himself in a very awkward way for his like shape. And he's like, Tumbly, please escort our guest out.
I'm just gonna yell to Tumbly and say, Tumbly, do you want us to leave?
And ooh, I got two things I want to do real quick. So you say, Tumbly, do you want us to leave? And as you say that, I want you to make a wisdom saving throw for both you and Arya.
Okay, so I got a 13.
Okay.
And Arya got a 12.
12. Okay, so you feel like energy coming, like you turn back and look and you see this energy, or you feel this energy coming from Tumbly, right? And basically what happens is you feel like something clench on you and you start to lift, but you like shake it off. And you like land, you're like, that was weird. And then you look over and you can see that Arya is actually floating off the ground, like being held.
Okay, so I barely made that saving throw.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
Yes, you did barely make that saving throw. I'll show you the page later. It's pretty dope. But yeah, you see Arya floating in the air. And Tumbly looks over and she's like, please go.
Okay, we'll leave.
You're leaving?
No, I'm leaving.
Okay. So when you say we'll leave, she like lets you see her like hand like kind of relax, and you see that she has like a bracelet on her hand that has like different beads like going around it, like black and green and red beads, and that's like where her magic was coming from. And she lets Arya go, and she's like, okay.
We leave.
Okay. Are you going home or?
No, we just walk out.
Okay. So you're outside.
I want to regroup with Arya and see how we want to handle this situation.
Are you like?
I want to make a plan.
Are you just outside, or do you like leave the property? Just so I know.
We left the property.
Okay.
Like we walked into the woods.
Got you.
Let's say we like set up a little camp or something.
Okay.
And I'm just saying to her, this is what we need to do. We need to figure out a way to get her out of there. And I know that if we fight him, she's going to be fighting for him because she has no control. So, we need to figure out a way to get rid of him without him becoming aware enough to bring Tumbly into the fight, because we don't want to hurt Tumbly.
And you hear her say, looks like we really do have to kill him? She's like, what?
I guess we do.
She's like,
because I feel like there's no other choice unless we can get him to release this spell that he has on Tumbly, which I doubt we will. There's no other way to get her out of this situation. So I think we do have to kill him.
She's like, yeah, he is kind of creepy. Like, more than kind. Like, this is the most uncomfortable I think I've ever felt.
Me too. He's terrifying.
She's like, so how should we do this? Because I'm scared if we just, like, how are we just going to get him without her getting into it? Like, what if she's always by? I don't know. Like, you just see, like, this, like, worry for Tumbly, like, come out in what she's saying.
So I have an idea. Because he's blind, he probably has a heightened sense of hearing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if we make enough noise outside, he will either come out himself or send Tumbly out. And we can make enough noise and distract her enough to get her far enough away that we can attack him.
She's like, okay, how are we gonna... What noise should we make?
Just like rustling through the woods and tapping on their windows at first, and then dragging one of them out enough by rustling through the woods, kind of running away, but still like tempering with them enough to keep their interest.
Okay. So I guess we'll just make a ton of noise in the woods. And then what?
Well, let's start by like tapping on their windows and just making like lots of noises that would alarm them.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone's on their property. They're probably going to assume it's us, but that's fine as long as one of them comes out.
Okay, so are you going to go and like tap the door or just I'm out?
A window with like a branch or something.
Okay. So you walk up and you tap the door at the branch. Do you want to give me a performance check?
Performance?
Yeah.
Sure. 17 plus 3, 20.
20? Okay, so you start tapping on this window, and as it's like hitting the window, you can feel like the annoyingness of the people inside, just like, or I guess their impatience start to grow, and you can kind of hear even. He's like, Tumbly. Tumbly. Check outside. What's happening with the windows? He's like, now don't go too far. But what? Just check. And if it's those girls, get them out of here.
Okay. So I'm going to have Arya start going into the woods and making more noise in the woods to draw Tumbly out.
Okay.
Into the woods.
So you want to roll performance for her?
I think hers is the same as mine.
Okay.
$16.
Okay. And she is following the noise. So basically she's like walked off the porch and she's starting to walk into the woods, and she is this isn't like, how do I say this? The front of the house has like a clearing. The house is built into like the woods, but the front of the house has a clearing, and she's being very careful not to leave the clearing, but she is like watching out to a distance. So I'll say about, I want to say 30 feet. There's like a 30 foot clearing, and she's at the very edge, like looking for Arya.
Okay. So I'm going to go to, can I roll stealth to walk to the door? See if I go unnoticed.
Yeah, so give me stealth check.
16, 18.
Okay. You feel like you're not noticed.
Okay. So I'm just going to open the door. Just open it.
Okay. So are you sneaking into the door this way with this stealth check?
No, I just am opening the door and like being kind of behind it.
Okay.
But, like, there's obviously going to be a noise when I open the door, and I'm hoping that he notices it.
Okay. So there is a creaking noise when the door opens, and he's like, "Ah, you couldn't stay away." Like, you get the sense that he knows it's you immediately.
Uh-huh. Say, why don't you come find out?
Why don't you come find out? He's like, "Oh." And you do see, at the very end of the hallway in the other room, you see this man stand up. And he's like, You have no idea what you're doing. And his body starts to contort and change. And he grows into what looks like a big fat human and a mole hybrid.
Oh.
And he makes like a weird chittering noise as he's changed. And we can roll initiative.
Okay, I got 21, and Arya got 18.
So you were first, Deidra. What do you want to do? He just formed into a creepy mole creature.
I'm gonna cast Shatter.
Shatter? Okay.
Yeah, I want to try it. It's instantaneous.
Okay. What's the save I need to make?
A Constitution saving throw.
Constitution save. Gosh. I just rolled a 2, so that's a 3 altogether, so that's a fail.
Okay, so he's gonna take 3d8 thunder damage.
Okay, roll that damage. And then all of the stuff within the vicinity of the shatter is also going to take that damage. All of the objects around you.
Cool.
So how far does that go out to?
10 feet.
10 feet? So I'm going to say you walked up so that you were within the 10 feet to hit him. And then...
I can't find a d8. Oh, found one. Okay.
There you go.
I feel like I'm missing one from my other set, though.
Maybe you let Kelly use it last game when he was smiting people.
I probably did. Okay. So 4 plus 6 plus another 4. So 14 damage total.
Okay, 14 damage. Around the room there is like all the glass that's in there shatters, including the windows around you. And
this is cool.
Like the chairs, like basically, like most of the chairs and things have like fallen over, but you've basically broken all the glass within the room. And any like small wooden thing is broken as well. 14 damage. Okay. You got it. Okay. Anything else for your turn? Do you want to fly? I'm just kidding. Oh yeah. You also did get sorcery points, so if you want to cast a cantrip after doing that, you can use a quicken spell to cast it as a bonus action.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's do shocking grasp.
Okay. Are you gonna pull him closer to you? Oh no, shocking grasp is different. He's not wearing any metal, so it's just gonna be a normal thing. Sorry.
That's fine.
I'm getting your spells mixed up.
Yeah, it's instantaneous.
Okay. So you run up and touch him?
Yeah. It strings from your hand to deliver a shock to the creature you try to touch.
So just roll the hit and add your +5 bonus.
$17.
17 hits.
And then he takes...
Was it a D8 or 2D?
It's 1d8.
1d8? Okay. And then don't forget you get to add a +1 because of your wand.
Oh, because of my wand? Yeah.
Yeah. To the damage.
Oh, I didn't do that on my last one. Can I do that on my last one?
Yeah, I'll add it for you.
Okay.
So 1d8 +1.
Okay. 1d8 plus 1. 8.
Okay, so
9.
9. You got it.
Yes! And then,
He's bleeding now.
okay. So I'm gonna fly backwards 10 feet with my thingamabob.
Dope. Okay. So you get back out of range from him. Okay, so next it's going to be his turn. He's standing there in his form. He's bleeding. He's like, ah, and you see him like put his hands up, like he's like making himself look bigger, and then you see him jam both of his hands into the ground and start to burrow underground.
What a bitch.
So he's like digging underground, and you see. And you're 10 feet away now, so there's just a hole in the ground where he was. Yeah. So that's what he's going to do for his turn. You also hear him like muttering to himself as he's doing that. And you hear Arya from outside start to yell. She's like, no! Yeah! Like, basically, he's muttering to himself, and you can tell that Tumbly's on the move to come inside.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be her turn next. I'm going to say she basically is going to walk to the front door, and you're going to be another, like, 10 or 20 feet in front of her. Or we'll say 10 because it's not a... No, we'll say 20. You're 20 feet ahead of her. And she's going to walk up to the door, and she's already used her high-level spell, so she's luckily.
Isn't it Arya's turn?
No, this is Tumbly. Does that make sense?
But Arya got 18.
I know, but Arya didn't... She's still too far away to come close, and she didn't think to come on her turn to the door because Tumbly was still distracted. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're good. So she's going to run up to the door, and she's going to cast a spell at you. 19 on the roll, plus 5, so that's definitely going to hit you.
What a bitch.
Oh, what do we got here?
Boom, boom, boom. We're on vacation.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So she's going to do 9 poison damage to you, and you also have to make a Constitution saving throw to see if you're poisoned.
Saving throw. Natural 20.
Natural 20, you are not poisoned.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, now Tumbly has joined the fight. So it's back to your turn.
Can I jump down the hole?
Yeah, so you run 10 feet over, and this hole is deep. It's about 15 feet deep, but you don't see him at the bottom. So if you want to jump in the hole, you can. But it's a jump. And it's dark down there.
So if I cast a spell and roll to hit, do I have disadvantage?
Wait, what do you mean? What?
If I try to cast a spell down the hole?
So if you could see him, you could cast a spell at him. But if you want to do a roll to hit and just like give a shot in the dark, I'll let you do that. So basically what happened is there's a hole and it's gone into like a cavern that he's already made down there. Does that make sense? So you can't see him as of now. Like you could do an attack, like a roll to hit type of thing, but with disadvantage, but it's your odds of hitting him aren't very high regardless. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's like a way to grapple Tumbly and just start taking her away. Because I feel like if we do that, we'll draw him out.
I got you. You could just do a normal grapple check.
Okay, what's that?
So what you're going to do is you're going to do either an athletics or a dexterity contest with Tumbly to see if you can basically wrestle her to the ground.
Okay. Well, it's the same. So.
I got you. And that'll like drop her speed to 0, and you'll basically be able to drag her if you want.
Okay, I rolled 13.
13, let's see what she gets. So I rolled a natural 15 for her.
That's rude.
Yeah. But it would be a 17 altogether, so she is doing a good job of not being grappled here.
Okay. Can I have Arya do the same thing?
Yeah, so Arya's going to run in for her turn. And she gets right to where Tumbly's at, because she was distracting her before. And I'll go ahead and roll grapple for her.
15, 17.
17, okay. And so she basically, you try to grapple her, and she's like doing a good job of getting out of the way and not getting grappled. And from behind her, you just see Arya jump on her, basically tackle her to the ground, and she has her held.
Okay. It's not my turn. It's her turn. Right?
So it's going to be the guy's turn. But he is nowhere to be found in this room right now. But it will be Tumbly's turn, and as you guys are grappling, this room becomes dark, just like that. And so now the room has been completely darkened, and neither you nor your friend can see. But you can't. She does still have the hold on Tumbly, and she's grappled.
Okay.
So she can't move, is what I'm trying to say. And I used her action to do something else, so she can't get out of the grapple right now. So it's back to your turn.
Can I... What, kind of action does it take to light a torch?
To light a torch, I'll say you could just turn a torch on, but you can tell that this is magical darkness that is around you right now. Which, basically, magical darkness is still, dark even if a torch is on. Does that make sense?
Okay. Can I try to tie her up with a rope?
Yeah, so you pull your rope out and go ahead and give me a sleight of hand roll.
Natural 20.
Natural
so
20.
22.
She is restrained. She's not going anywhere. But it is very dark right now. But you guys do have a hold on her, and she is not going anywhere. So if you...
Is there a way I can grab her and use my movement to go the 30 feet?
So you can...
Or am I slowed?
So your movement is only 25 feet, but you're going to only be able to go half your movement dragging her. So we can say that you and... I'll let you go to the full 25 feet if both of you are basically dragging her together. Does that make sense?
Okay.
You and
yeah.
Arya. So are you just going to drag her straight out the front door?
Yep.
Okay. So you start dragging her out the front door, and you do get to a point where you are out of this magical darkness. It's a giant orb around you. And yeah, basically you walk out, and after about 15 feet, you're out of the magical darkness. So basically 15, 16, or 15, 20, 25. You're 10 feet away from the magical darkness now, but you are in the front. You're not quite to the... You have another 15 feet to go to get to the wood line. Is that right?
Okay.
No, you only got 5 feet to go. Sorry.
5 feet.
Yeah, you got 5 feet to go to get to the wood line.
Okay, so that was Arya's movement as well, right?
Yes. So it was both of you working together to basically move her. But next it's going to be Tumbly's turn. Unless there was anything else you wanted to do.
We took her movement.
What's up?
We took Arya's movement, but not her action.
Okay, so yeah, you can do an action if you want to. Well, I'm going to sit... Yeah, that's fine. Because she's grappling her and she's focusing on the grapple. But she can...
I just tie her up with rope.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. Sorry. I'm losing my mind. You took her. She can still do her action.
What's prestidigitation?
Prestidigitation, that actually is a way you can, like, light stuff without having to do anything. You can light things. It has, like, a lot of little uses. You can make, like, a light breeze. It's basically, like, just like the little things that a wizard would be able to do if they were, like, yeah, it's basically just the trick shots, the little things. You get what I mean?
Can she actually cast sleep on Tumbly?
Yeah. So go ahead and roll the number for me, and I'll tell you if she falls asleep.
What's the number? The D20?
Oh, so you've got to roll a couple of, I think it's D8s. Let me look it up real quick. 5e sleep. Boom. Okay, so she is going to roll 5d8, and basically if it's more than Tumbly's health, she'll fall asleep.
Okay.
Okay.
7, 14, plus 8, 22.
Okay, she's asleep.
28.
She is asleep.
Okay. She's asleep.
Okay, so
It's her turn.
Yeah, she is out for her turn. She's, like, I'm going to say she's pretty much out of initiative unless she wakes up. It is the guy's turn, and you do feel like a rumbling under where you guys are at. So it's like you can feel this guy burrowing under the ground. I'm going to say, yeah, you can feel him burrowing under the ground, but he's not quite out of the ground. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
So he's like coming towards you, but he's not there yet. The burrow speed isn't that fast.
Okay.
So it's your turn.
Let's just keep going. If her and I feel like this clearing has something to do with the range of this spell that he has on her.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if that's true, but if we keep going into the woods another 25 feet, carrying her, and then that'll just be the end of our turns.
Okay, so you guys go to the... Basically, you can get to the end of the wood line, and do you want to continue through?
Yeah, into the woods.
So you continue with her. She's not... There's no reaction coming from her or anything.
Well, she's asleep.
Yeah. So you guys are doing a good job of pulling her through the woods right now. But, yeah.
Okay.
And are you just... Yeah, you're just going another 25 feet with them? With her?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this next turn around, you do the... what's his name? What did I name him? Oh, no!
Gore.
Gonzola, yeah. Gord basically pops out of the ground where you guys were waiting for a second, and he's actually running at you now. And he is quite fast. So he pops out of the ground, and now he's running, which is going to be... So he's right behind you, but not like... How do I say this? I'd say he's 10 feet behind you still, but if in another turn he'll make it to you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool.
So is it my turn?
Yep. He basically used his dash while he was digging and burrowing, and then ran. And then ran.
That's what I assumed.
Mm-hmm.
Is he dashed?
Yeah.
So I'm going to run up to him and use Thunderclap. How far away is he from us?
10 feet.
10 feet? Okay, so I run all the way up to him and use, so that I'm 10 feet away from them.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to use Thunderclap.
Thunderclap, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's the save? Constitution?
Is this a cantrip? This is a cantrip, right? So I can use a spell as well, right?
So you can only, it depends. I put a thing for your sorcery points on there. It depends on how much it costs to do the quicken spell. Because you only have 3 sorcery.
Where that is.
It's the bottom of your, your features on the right side of your first page. So there's a quicken spell and a twin spell. It depends on how much the sorcery it says the sorcery points are. I think you can do it one more time because I remember cantrips are only 1 sorcery point. So you could do it one more time after this time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, so I'm going to cast Thunderclap.
Okay.
So he needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Oh, gosh. I'm doing a bad job at rolling right now. 4 or 5. I made a 5.
Okay, so that fails.
Yep.
Okay. So he takes 5 damage from that.
Okay. 5 damage.
And then I'm going to cast Witch Bolt.
Okay.
So I rolled a hit that, right?
Yes, roll to hit him.
Okay. Do I add my spell attack bonus?
Yes, you do.
Okay. I got a 19, so 24.
Okay, that hits.
And then on a hit, okay, 1d12 lightning damage. Where's my d12? That's this one, right? It's like the mini.
D12. It's like, oh gosh. It's the square. It's this one that looks like a 20, but isn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
7 damage.
7.
So 12 total. Oh,
okay.
plus 1.
How do you kill him?
Plus 1 on both of those.
He's dead.
Sorry. He's dead?
Yes.
Okay. So I hit him with my witch bolt, and he makes that weird screeching sound again, and then just falls over and is dead.
Yep, he falls over and he transforms into his blind fat self, and he is burnt to a crisp.
Cool. So we're gonna untie Tumbly and just carry her.
Okay.
Home. Until she wakes up.
You're carrying her with you. And she does eventually wake up. And when she wakes up, she's panicking. She's like, what am I doing? What's going on?
Just say are you okay? Do you remember everything that's been going on?
She's like, where is he?
Gore?
It's like, yeah.
Do you need him?
She's like, I just need to know where he's at.
Why?
She's like, she's like, where is he? She's just very adamant.
He died.
She's like, oh. She's like, okay, now I can say whatever I want.
Yes, you can.
All of the calmness, a big calmness comes over her, and she's basically like, oh, if I said certain things, I would just get this massive headache. It could kill me, Yeah,
he had some sort of spell on you. I saw it in your eyes when we were first talking to you. I tried to get him to take the spell off of you, but he wouldn't listen, so we killed him.
She's like, thank you. Thank you so much. She's like,
You're welcome.
She's like, my family sold me to him and he cast that spell on me.
Oh.
He's just taking care of him.
Well, you're safe with us now.
Cool.
We'll take care of you. It's your turn to be taken care of.
She's like, oh. She's like, honestly, I already feel better with him dead. With him gone, I feel so... She's like, you guys have no idea. She gets up, she's just walking around, like, and just saying nonsense to herself. Like, she's just saying... She's like, and also,
just
my
saying
name...
whatever she wants.
She, like, turns, she's like, my name isn't Tumbly, by the way. My name is Tulane. He just can't hear or doesn't care to listen to people. He can hear fine. I know he can hear. He just wanted to call me not my name.
What was her name again?
Tulane.
Tulane?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tulane. Tulane? Tulane?
Colby! So, are you okay with coming back with us and we can teach you how to master your abilities and...
She's like, I would love that. Like, she's so excited. She's like, there's a place I can stay where people aren't gonna, like, just sell me to creepy moles?
Definitely not.
She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, yeah.
To creepy moles?
She's like, let's go right now. She's like, what do you guys have to eat there? Like, she's just so excited to be going. She's like, do we have, like, good food? Like...
Oh, yeah. We've got plenty of food. Stuff to drink. Arya here works at the inn.
Yeah, Arya's
we can get you whatever you need.
Arya starts listing off, like, a menu of, like, the things that she loves to eat or that she loves to prepare for people. And she's like, guys, I am so... Oh... She, like, you can just feel the, like, giddiness and the happiness, and she is free, you know?
I love that. I was so worried she was going to be mad at us for killing him.
So she's like, oh, like, just everything's, she's happy. So, you guys, you show her how to get into, like, the thickets and get into town, and when she sees that it's like a halfling settlement, she's even more excited. She's like, these are houses where everything's not too big for me. Like, she's like, like, you can just, like, see, like, tears, like, swelling in her eyes, like, from being so happy.
Aww.
And,
we love her.
she's like, so, like, what kind of magic do you guys do?
Well, I mastered lightning and thunder magic.
Whoa. She's like, yeah, I remember you blowing up the house. Like, all the windows broke. She was like, that was crazy. She's like, I was, like, super happy, but I had to do what he said. He can talk to my brain. Did you know that? That's
crazy. I assumed that he had some sort of that kind of power over you, so... We tried our best to get rid of him without hurting you, which is why we drew you out.
She's like, that...
Before I did any of that.
She's like, if I would have left the Woodline, that headache would have come and it would have hurt me so bad. But I guess that didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm glad that it didn't.
Well, it happened, but she was asleep.
Yeah,
so she, like, didn't know it was happening, so... Yeah, you get there. Is there anything you want to show her before? Because that's pretty much all I had planned for today. But we can just roleplay you showing her stuff around town if you want. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so we'll go... we'll first go to the inn, get her something to eat, get her nourished.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe see if we can get her a room there.
Yeah. So...
Just a safe place to sleep.
Yeah, your aunt and... Mom both have, basically your house is very big, so they do have a place
there's
where
room for her.
They basically said she can stay in a room here until we work something else out, but if she wants her own room in the inn, she's entitled to that too, you know?
Okay.
So it's like, whatever you want to do.
I'll ask her. I mean, she can stay with us, that's perfectly fine. So we go get her fed, and then we'll take her back to see my mom.
Okay, so you bring her to your mom. and your aunt, and they just look so happy to see her. They're like, "You decided to come," and she's like, "Yeah." she's like, "I'm so happy that there are people." She's like, and your mom's like, "There are so many things I cannot wait to show you, and we can't wait to see what you can do." And your aunt's just kind of like hanging back with you. She's kind of like looks at you, and I'm assuming Arya's still with you guys.
Yeah.
She like looks at you guys. She's like you're just watching her and your mom talk, and you just see like the happiness flowing out of her and the giddiness, and your aunt just looks over and she's like, "There's nothing better than knowing that this is what we can do for people." Your aunt like tries to be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like a dark character, but a
she tries to be like serious and stone cold. Well, not like serious, but like
she's very stoic.
She tries to be like badass.
Yeah, she's stoic and badass.
No emotion.
You can see like the pride from this moment, essentially, and so she goes and meets her too, and says, "Oh, darling, we are going to have so much fun." And yeah, they show her room. They basically say, "We can give you different things here. We'll train you up and just relax." And she's like, "Guys, like, no offense, I just don't want to be alone for a little while. Like, like she's basically like, don't like let me. I don't want to be by myself for a while." Like, she basically was like, she just wants to feel safe around all of you guys. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And so
okay.
But yeah, she does that. You guys tell her about the spring and kind of talk about the different things they can do. You learn about her that she is very adept with like darkness, so she can make things dark and see through it. She can see in the dark, which is why it was like so dim in the house when you first got there. Like, she didn't even need really that much light, and she's just very good with darkness based spells. And yeah, she knows that eventually she's going to be able to summon like dark beings to fight for her, but she basically says, I never imagined I'd ever be able to get to that point, but I know it's a possibility. Like, she just kind of is already thinking about where her life is going to go.
All the things she can do now. That's cool. Her like giddiness to come makes me feel like the next person we go get is going to be like, no.
I mean, we'll see.
I'm good. I'm good.
Is there anything you want to do before we end this session, though?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. So, yeah, saving a girl. What am I saying? We'll end it there. It was an awesome session. And then, basically, I don't know if anybody's watching on your end, but I'm going to say this anyway. We do lives every Thursday. We do them every Tuesday. At 7:30. What's our time zone?
Mountain Standard Time.
Mountain Standard Time. We play live on TikTok every Tuesday at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time, and then I post it on Monday to YouTube. So if you want to catch up and see what we've done so far, go ahead and go look at that. But yeah, we'll end it there. Everybody have a good night. Go.